Hello, welcome to this week's On the Road with MTDCNC, the podcast that we release every Friday at 6 p.m. We cover all of the topics and things we've seen in the previous 7 days. And this week, we actually are doing this here from HAAS at their workshop in Leicester, where we've been today, looking at this machine that is behind us here, this ST40, which is actually available from stock. But it's not the only visit we've obviously done this week. We'll be discussing over the course of the next 40 minutes visits from Prima Power, who came to the studio on Monday, GW Martin, a company we visited on Tuesday, FT Gearing that we visited on Wednesday, also Cloud NC, which we visited on Wednesday, and of course HAAS here today, plus loads of other stuff. I'm joined this week by Lyndsey and Gio. How are you two guys? Are you okay?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, very well, thanks,
Lyndsey,
Paul.
first, keeping on. You've got your bottle of Gaviscon there, Lyndsey.
Yeah, I've got my Gaviscon.
What's that do for you?
It's my heartburn, because I'm not far off due. So that just helps me with my heartburn. It makes me get through my day. And then my bottle of water. So nice and healthy.
So it's one then the other,
yeah,
is it? I mean, I noticed Chloe's got a bottle of this as well, hasn't she?
Paul, I've got the big 500ml next to my bed. I've got 3 of those. And then these are my top-ups that I go out with around.
Is there any foods and things that are making this happen other than... Is there any foods you can eat to stop this from happening?
Yeah. So, you know me, I like food. It's kind of greasy things that I can't have. I can't believe we're discussing this. It's just, I never expected this. The machining and Prima Power and now my stomach. No.
So you couldn't have cod and chips? You couldn't have
I wouldn't touch it because that would make it worse. So you'll see me eating salad, but then I like chocolate. So it's not about the health. It's just, I've got a sweet tooth. I tell you what, this is quite interesting. My craving when I was pregnant last time was Nutella. And I used to, just be polite in the beginning. And by the end of it, it was just, no, get the spoon and just spoon it out. And I used to come home from work, watch 3 episodes, listen to this.
Nutella's nice, Paul.
Yeah,
Nutella
it is
nice.
good. But I used to, it's great stuff. I used to watch 3 episodes of Tipping Point and sit and eat Nutella. That was my craving. I think there's something wrong with me.
Gio, do you like cod and chips?
I love cod and chips, and I give my kids Nutella sarnies. They love it. Or even on bread as well. On toast, toasted.
So
they
good.
love it.
But do you like cod and chips though?
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Do you like the batter on the cod? Because the best bit for me is the fish with the batter.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah. Why you look surprised?
No. I just wondered, because the thing is with fish and chips, I can understand once I've eaten it, I don't feel that it doesn't. I feel a bit. Yeah, and I can see where that could come in if you were eating fish and chips. So
literally the last podcast I did was about Joe and gout, and now this one, where are we going with this?
Okay, so coming up, as I said, we're going to be talking about what we've been up to this week. Before we get going, there's been some great news across the MTD channels this week. We've got stories about a new turning centre from Mazak, which is being launched. We've also got the stories about Bentley Motors. There's officially opened a new centre of excellence here, employing more people. UK manufacturing output volumes in the last 3 months to June grew at their fastest pace since records began. There's more news about the growth of UK manufacturing, and you can see these stories either on MTDCNC or MTD MFG. Let's talk about Prima Power on Monday. You were there, Lyndsey, as well. We had a great day, didn't we?
We did. Wasn't he fantastic?
Yes. We had a really, really good day looking at some of the Prima Power technology with Barry Rooney. Now, he's not related to Wayne, but he does get asked that all the time, and we did ask him as well, didn't we? But he's not.
He's better looking, isn't he, than Wayne?
I mean, possibly, yeah. I'm sure if he's
I
listening.
learned a lot about bending, punching, lasers, and additive machines.
Yeah, I think this technology is quite. We've got a turning centre behind us here, which we're obviously going to talk about shortly. But when you look at what Prima Power do, it's a collective of everything, isn't it, in the sheet metal and the fabrication industry. So whether it be laser cutting with fibre lasers or CO2, whether it be punching at an incredible speed, I think it's something like 1,000 punches a minute they can do on some of their machines. But it's how all these machines come together, whether it be bending, punching, laser cutting. you think it's a laser cutter, but actually no, it can fold the material as well. Or specifically the punches that we were talking about, where they're punching, then they're folding, they're finishing, they're nibbling, they're shearing, they're doing everything, can't they?
Don't know about nibbling.
they're
No,
doing
they really
all
are
of these
doing.
operations in one, and it was really good to have Barry. We did a brilliant podcast, some fantastic technical corners coming to the channel, all about, as I say, these different technologies they offer. But one that really stood out was the additive, wasn't it? They're
Yes.
now into additive manufacturing.
Yes, you know what? It derived from the fact that they have lasers anyway. So what I found, and this is what I found Barry really, really honed in on, is a lot of their technology derived from the original technology they had. So it was just natural progression for them as a company. And so they said, oh, well, we have lasers. And then they were talking about additive, and they said, well, additive is only just a laser with this, you know, and you just think, actually, yes, that makes a lot of sense. So it was easy progression for them to go, let's get into the additive industry. And they do. And what's unique is the fact that when we talk about additive manufacturing, 3D printing, a lot of the machines we see are a lot smaller. The parts are more, they're a lot smaller. Whereas he's talking about big, whopping, great big additive machines.
If you could imagine like a 4 metre by 2 metre
huge
fibre laser, they're now using that machine with the head technology in order to print.
So is it going to be a bit of a hybrid? So it
can-
can still do all of the other tasks?
I believe so.
And also brilliant.
You're able to combine these technologies, because you imagine if you've got a big structure that needed some repair work, needed printing on it, you can do it. Like Lyndsey says, most of the machines are small. These are much bigger.
Behind you, Paul, the HAAS, you know, all of the casing of the machine, and all
Sheet
of
metal.
it's perfect
Behind
application.
you,
Swarf management system.
Yeah.
You know, it requires
Don't
that
even
kind of
think
technology.
Everywhere you go, the supermarket, the shops,
your car. You needed it in your car.
Yeah, you everything needs to be. So the market is massive for their machinery, and it's going to be really good to be working with Barry and the team. We're looking to visit Italy when we can as well. So that was Monday.
Just one
Go on.
I've always thought when I've looked at them laser cutting machines, you know, the plate that you can cut through now is up to 25 mil thick, is it, Paul, or is it more than that? It's more than that.
Depending on material.
And I look at that. Say, for example, you're making prismatic parts, profile parts out of mild steel, or you could potentially laser cut all of them profiles out, thousands of or hundreds of them in one sheet, and then do your finishing ops on the machine tools.
I think there's
there's kind of potential there for our actual machining industry too.
I think there's a lot of synergy between both industries that will work together, and I think that's where it will blend. You'll probably find that those machines will relate to one industry, and they'll cover each industry, and that's where I think he's trying to grow as well.
Now I think we're gonna hop, skip, and a jump around in today's show, because we're going to talk about this HAAS machine and today's visit before we go on to talking about where we were Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and so forth. But most importantly, what I have got to say at this stage is you'll all know from 2 days ago that England have now qualified for the last 16, and for Gio, Italy have 2, and you're going to the game on Saturday, aren't you, to watch Italy
going
play?
to Wembley, can't wait, Paul. Looking forward to it. Last time I went to watch Italy play was in 1996 at Anfield in the Euros, when it was in England last. Can't wait.
And that should be a good game, because they're playing Austria, aren't they?
Yeah, they should win Austria.
They're the form team of the tournament at the moment.
They are, but I think they peaked too fast, Paul. I'm hoping that they haven't, but they do feel to me like they may have peaked too fast. So I'm hoping that they're not going to get complacent, and I hope that they can keep the form.
Well, they're the only team that hasn't
tournament.
kind of had a blip, or you know.
They haven't conceded a goal. They've won every game without conceding a goal. It's the first team in the history of the European Championships to do that through the group stage.
Right?
Yeah, that's correct. Right. It's the first time England have qualified through the group stages. It's the first time.
Hang on a minute. This
is one last fact. This is the first time England have qualified through the group stages without conceding a goal since 1966. So fingers crossed, that might be a good omen, and maybe
Can we
England
meet Italy? I've not looked at the route or the road, to the final, but I wonder whether if you're the different side of the
group. I've not looked at it properly, Paul, but I think it could be a semi-final final clash.
Right, okay, because then on Tuesday,
then we'll go to that one. If that's
all you want to do is go to the football together. That's
one
what
I will definitely go
that's
to.
What
that,
it is.
So I'm going to the game on Tuesday as well to see Germany and England. I just cannot wait for that. So anyway, that we're digressing to
machines.
So let's talk about this machine behind us. We're here today. It's Friday. We've been looking at this model behind us. This is available from stock here. We've reviewed. Well, Gio's done a review on the control. We've spoken to Ben Birch about the actual machine itself. We've obviously had James with us as well today. It's been really good, hasn't it, to be able to see a machine of this size actually cutting as well. We've done all the GoPro work on it. What do you think of it?
I've learned so much today. I've learned more so about the brand, more so about that side of things than the machine itself. And it is fascinating, some of the facts and figures that he's told us about, the fact that they've got over 10,000 spindles sitting in the UK, which is amazing, going for over 31 years. HAAS engineers make them. Pretty much 99.9% of the parts they're making themselves. They're like a vertically integrated company. They're making everything from the ground up. There's a lovely brand around this company, and I think there's a lovely ethos as to they know who they are and they know where they've come from and they know what they're good at. They're not trying to be anything else other than who they are, and I think that is really strong for who they are and what they make.
I mean, this ST40 is a pretty rock solid machine, a real workhorse. 2-speed gearbox on it. It's a bit of a powerhouse, isn't it, Gio?
Their control system as well, just to add to that.
Well, you used to work on it as well.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, Paul. It was 20 years ago now when I was.
He was 5.
When
32.
when I got into the aerospace industry, and the control as it looks the same, but some of the technological advancements in the software, it's really moved on leaps and bounds and really simplified the way in which you can program, which is absolutely essential now, because you effectively want to keep that spindle turning and you don't want to be keeping the spindle down by kind of doing your programming. And I'm really impressed really with some of the new features on the lathe. I'm really impressed with some of the facts that we've been given today about the company. I think that the synergy now with Formula One has really kind of propelled their brand even further. It was already very strong, and I think it's changed.
But it was like one of the things I said to James earlier. It was like I think that was an exceptionally good move, and because a lot of my mates, they're not in engineering and they don't know anything about machines and metal and all the rest of it, but they'll come and talk in the pub about HAAS,
they'll know that
Formula
brand.
One. They'll know the brand. So then, and then you say, oh yeah, actually, we work with HAAS. Do you? Well, what do they actually do beyond the cars? Well, they make the machines that make bits for the cars.
That was the thing, is that they're making the engineers. So HAAS engineers are making HAAS machines on HAAS machines, and and then onto the cars. And I loved what they were.
You almost feel like you can understand why some engineers might have a loyalty to this brand because they feel, this is actually. It's in making bits for motorsport, and we're talking about the cars going around the track. So if I invest in this machine, I'm investing in that team, aren't I?
Yeah.
So and it has had a big. I mean, the growth of this company has been tremendous over recent years. Anyway, with the development of new products, James was talking about the UMC, which we see everywhere, and I remember reviewing one here 5 or 6 years ago and thinking, do you know what, HAAS are now going into a different market to what they're known for, but they've done a really good job of integrating that technology into their brand. And as he said, he thinks it's one of their best machines.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job, Paul. And I think that, one thing that really stood out for me, Paul, is that the modular aspect of the machine. So they are kind of using a lot of the same components within all of their range, whether it be a lathe, whether it be an horizontal, a fifth axis machine tool. And what that does effectively when they're mass producing these components, it's bringing the cost down, so then they can pass on them savings to their clients and sell the machine tools at a very affordable price. And I think that the business strategy is excellent. They've got a proven record. They're trying to make quality machines at an affordable price.
I think that's kind of bringing back to what I said at the beginning, is what we've learned about this company is they have an ethos. They're not trying to be anyone else other than who they are. They know what they do it well, and they're going to continue to do that.
The scalability.
And they will branch out, but they're just thinking, as long as it's not too far away from what we know and we lose control, let's just do what we do and do it well. And they do.
So this machine, 15-inch chuck, 102 mil or 4-inch bar capacity, just over a metre in the Z-axis, so a 12-station turret, but this is just a turning machine, but it is available from stock here and for sale. In fact, there was 2 of them, one sold and this
so
one
easy
ready
to use. Even
so easy
Gio
to use.
can.
Even I
can.
Good.
So we then, so let's go back. As I say, we're moving around on this week's show a bit. But on Tuesday, I actually was away for. And Gio, you on Monday.
No, it was Tuesday. I also popped into MTDCNC. I think Lyndsey's going to be returning back to AM Hydraulics. They've just put a Shibora TUE 200 in, so a big, massive vertical lathe. They seem to be really, really busy at the minute, selling some of these very large machine tools. They've got a new Takumi UR1000 into paddock gears. They've also got a Groupers Parpus Roller Mega machine and a Groupers Parpus Shark, and we've been reviewing them in the technical corner. Wow, again, it's the HAAS kind of scenario. I'm not quite sure which is the correct
really
terminology.
Impressed you just said an H. I'm really impressed, Gio.
I've been practicing just for you, Lyndsey. but there's some really great applications that we'll be covering with MTDCNC, and there's some really big machine tools that we're going out to look at and review. So really excited about that too.
So that was on Tuesday, but also on Tuesday, I was down south in Eastleigh with Joe and Jason Butler from Mazak. We went to GW Martin. This is a company, I think. I don't know. Have you been there?
No.
You've obviously been there.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I think we've been there as a team about 5 times in the last 2 or 3 years. They just keep adding new machinery to their shop floor. If it wasn't the Star sliding head lathe, which it was a sort of 18 months ago, it's now multiplex machines from Mazak, which are twin turret, twin spindle machines with a gantry loader. They got a CMZ machines with gantry loaders. They use, and then they recently bought a HQR, a Hyper Quadrex from Mazak, which is a twin turret, twin spindle machine.
They definitely sound like they're investing in technology.
Millions in the. I mean, I'm talking over 2 million in the last couple of years. Richard Blake is the business development manager there, I believe, and I used to know Richard because I used to work for Richard at DMG, when it was DMG. He used to be my old managing director. And Jason Butler, who now obviously works at Mazak, when he worked at DMG there with us. So we all, basically where I'm going is we all worked together back in 2001, 2002.
Did you have a nice drink together? That's the main question.
On Tuesday night, we did. We had a great time. Yeah,
reminiscing.
It was Tuesday night because that's when England were playing. But no, we had a great day. But what was really good was to go into a company that has, throughout this pandemic, has continued to grow their business. And they haven't been involved in medical, so they've not had the bounce that's come from the medical industry. They've just general commercial work, and they've grown and invested. And automation was a big theme for them. You know, it was interesting to hear Richard say that they used to employ a guy, right, that used to just load billets into a machine, these big billets. They were like sort of 8-inch billets into this like sort of 12-inch chuck machine all day, in, out. And he said he had arms like he was like Mr. T.
Like me.
He was like Mr. T. And the problem was, well, Richard said, you can't be doing that. Honestly, we need to sort this out. You cannot be. No, I love loading the machine. He had trouble persuading him that automation was the right thing to do. And now they automate it with a gantry loader. And actually, this guy has now found other opportunities within the business. He's doing newer things. And he goes, do you know what? You were so right, but I was so resistant to change. And there was a real story in that, the fact that people don't like when someone comes in or tries to change things, but it was the right thing to do.
Has he now got spaghetti arms and doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Go gadget arms.
He's like that now, isn't he?
So that was on Tuesday as well. We were also on Wednesday, so we did have a good night out with Jason on Tuesday night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. On Wednesday, I was then at FT Gearing with Joe, and again another great story of investment. Really, this was. Sometimes you go to a company where they're in lots of different buildings, and they sell all of those buildings, and they go and move into one big place because they think that that's the right and the best thing to do. FT Gearing, for those, have you been there? You've been there, haven't you? Yeah, they've got lots of units on this industrial estate, and there's a reason for it.
On about 3 industrial estates, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. It's because each unit is dedicated to a specific machine brand. So you go into one of unit 1 we were in, I think it was in, and it was all orange floors, carpets, and everything was branded, and it was just full of the Mazak machines. And then you go into another shop, and it's Citizen and Miano, so it's all branded to them. And then you go into another shop, and it's Gleason gear cutting machines. And they've just done it, and basically what he said, we met the owner, and Graham said that basically what he did, he got fed up with going into the shop, and there was a Mazak there, a Citizen machine there, something else there, and it was just all untidy, and he couldn't get his head round the best way of the method of moving parts through the shop. So he got all the machines out, stuck them all in the car park. Literally,
he's quite quirky, isn't he, the manager? I like it.
Stuck them all in the car park, and then basically picked up all the orange and black ones and put them in there. Put all the Citizens in there, and then he painted the shops around it. It was really
fabulous.
And the beauty of having all the different units is when COVID struck. If someone got COVID, they could shut a unit, but they didn't have to shut all the other units. So it had lots of advantages to the business. And I know the COVID's a temporary
What happens when you've got a Mitutoyo?
Well, that they've got a Mitutoyo shop.
No, they don't. I know they don't.
So they paint the Mitutoyo in the colours of whatever the shop is. But it was really good to go in there. They're just installing an i100 from Mazak, which it's lit up like a Christmas tree. It's got all the probing options, the swarf management, high pressure coolant. They're doing some really nice. Well, you would have seen some of the work that they do there, doing some really nice components for critical components for industry. Also, on Wednesday, we were at Cloud NC. Now, I know Mark was back there. I've never been to this company. Have either of you two?
I haven't, no. I know that Mark refers to it as they're trying to get this company as like a factory of the future with artificial intelligence and kind of incorporating all of the latest technology. Yeah,
and that's about as much as I know really. But I know we've been there 3 times, or Mark has, in the last 5 years. Yet more machines gone in. DMG Mori's a DMU 95, and their 3rd NLX multitasking turning machine has gone in. Nice. This time with an automation system, a Euroa automation system, or they've got a Euroa automation system for their DMU 60. I would just encourage people to watch out for those videos, because certainly on this occasion I'm going to be looking forward to actually hearing this story, because it's a company that seems to be doing very well. So whatever they're doing must have some
intelligence.
Absolutely, yes. I'm not artificial intelligence, like you pair have got. So that was on Wednesday. Now Thursday, quite rarely actually, we had a day where we weren't out on the road, which was good to know. So and then of course Friday we're here at HAAS, which we have spoken about already. I just want to tell you about some of the videos that have been released on the channel this week. We've had videos from Gruppers Parpus, big beautiful Starrag machines, videos from Microlock, which was at High Spec Engineering, which you did, Lyndsey, Hoffman Stories, Thompson, friction welding at Thompson, Sandvik's new turning grades, gear milling on a Grob with Vargas tooling, and Destech and their Courier machine that has been installed, which again you were there, Lyndsey, as well.
That's a wicked video, that is.
Yeah, really good video. In fact, we've had about 30 videos released across the channel this week. Next week we've got a busy week yet again. On Monday, Lyndsey, you're at Fanuc looking at a new EDM solution. I'm at Merck Aerospace for Matsuura And Wednesday we have our Bloom and ETG live event.
Yes, we do, don't we?
Which is happening on next Wednesday. And this is going to be, we spoke about it last week as well, but what we're trying to do with this event is show in-process measurement on a machine. Lots of people have probing, but whether they use it or not, they go in to measure parts, then they change offsets, when all of this can be done in process with full control, and we're going to be demonstrating that live. We're also going to be cutting on the Quasar machine, so that's going to be live across our channels 1 o'clock next Wednesday. So I encourage you to tune in to watch that. You can find the links on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn. We've got events set up for that. We're at L&R Precision. You're at L&R Precision next week with Colin. And I know
Colin.
With Colin,
Oh,
you're
dear.
out with Colin.
Yeah.
And on Friday, I'm at Mills CNC. And we're also at, you're at Arrow Precision for Studer as well, aren't you? Or is that Joe?
It's not happening anymore, Paul.
Oh,
so
is
that's
it not?
been,
Oh,
yeah,
I'll
that's
take that
been
one off the calendar. Onto some network stuff across the channel this week. I know for those watching or listening, the MTD Network is a great platform for engineers to promote their capacity and really shout about what they're doing. I know that Colin's going to Tom at Thermofax soon. He's also going to see Roger at LMS, who's just bought 2 Muratas. He's also going to Milturn CNC, who've just bought 4 new Hercos. Metrics Engineering have just signed up. And also J&S Engineering too. So lots happening on the MTD network. What's been your highlight this week then, Gio?
I think really, well, coming to HAAS today has been absolutely fantastic. It's been brilliant coming back to this facility, and it's brought back some fantastic memories from when I used to visit in the past. I think visiting Leader CNC and all the guys there, I want to wish Mike a happy birthday.
He was 74, wasn't he?
And it was brilliant to catch up with him and have a chat with him, and just they're doing really well. They're looking to move into a new facility. So the highlights just keep coming for me. I think the industry's certainly picking up. Everyone seems so buoyant. I think we're going to have many more good years to come, touch wood. And yeah, the highlights are they keep coming, Paul. It's great.
What about you, Lyndsey? What's been your, other than get your bottle of Gaviscon?
2 really, of course. Learning about HAAS. The last time I really kind of visited this brand was 3 years ago, and it was where I met Kevin Magnuson and Roman Grosjean at their facility in Banbury. So I think this is exciting because it's nice to explore a different brand and what their ethos is, and also Prima Power. I must admit, just to learn about the bending, the folding, the punching, the laser, to learn about new brands, different industries, and where they work in the metal cutting world is fascinating. So I think it's been quite an education.
Good stuff. Now, don't forget, we also have the Great British Manufacturing Podcast, which is available on the MTD MFG channel. Every week we have a new edition that comes out on Thursday, so that's definitely worth a listen. One of the things, do you know what my highlight of this week was?
No.
I'm nervous.
I was listening to this.
England,
I was listening to this.
Oh God.
Someone showed me. It was this thing that was on Lad Bible, right? And it was about
dear.
nicknames. And I think I might have even mentioned it to you when I saw you on Monday. But basically, where do nicknames come from? Why are people called certain names? And then we've got nicknames for you, which I don't even know. I don't even know why they are. But there was one guy rang in and he said his nickname was Keth. Right, so they called him Keth, and he was like, why do we been calling him Keth for years, but don't know why he's called Keth. And then he realised. They said, why do you call him? Why is he called Keth? And he said, well, he's got one eye missing. His real name's Keith, and he's actually a bloke with one eye.
That's terrible.
It's awful in so many ways.
And then there's a guy that had one leg shorter than another, so he bobs from side to side. And
so they called him Bob.
No. So he had one leg shorter than the other, and he bobs from side to side. So they call him a sniper's nightmare.
Are these Ian's jokes?
and this one was really pertinent to our industry and probably where we'll end the show. They used to this guy's boss was called Drillbit, and it was because he's a small, boring tool.
I like the snipers.
Yeah, the Sniper's Nightmare. That's a long nickname, though, isn't it? Oi, Sniper's Nightmare, come over here.
Maybe we'll think of one for Paul for next week.
Maybe we will. And do you know what? This is absolutely spot on time. It's just about 30 minutes. It's been a wrap up from this week at MTDCNC. Lots going on next week. Keep an eye on the channel. And of course, watch out for this for the reviews we've done on this ST40 here at HAAS. And I will conclude by saying it is available from stock. So if you're interested, you can contact HAAS at their website. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you again next week.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.